Hi dolls. In today's video, I'm going to pay homage to one of my favorite TV shows, Twin Peaks. The head I am using as a base for my doll is a Hippolyta by Mattel. I got mine in a bundle off AliExpress. I'm going to switch things up a bit this time and use a mixture of craft hair and a factory roll of hair. The great thing about this hair is that it comes pre-curled, so it saves me a lot of time and money. They may look similar in color, but they give me very subtle tone differences, which is what I'm after. As usual, I'll save you the rerouting process. I'll begin by sketching her eyebrows in with a burnt orange pencil. Then, I go over it with a grey pencil to tone it down. For the shape, I went for the classic 90s thin brow. I begin sketching in her eye shape with grey. For the sake of not showing you the back of my hand for the next 30 seconds, I summed up the next steps in this very detailed sketch. I gave her icy blue eyes, which I achieved by alternating between blue and grey pencil on each layer. Just so we're all on the same page, when I refer to layer, I mean coat of Mr. Super Clear. Then I intensify the eyes with black. You might have noticed I decided to challenge myself and gave her front-facing eyes instead of drawing them to one side. After sealing, I go in with some pressed pigments. I alternate between reddish brown, taupe, and a mustard yellow to give her a grungy look. To brighten up the inner corner, I used the silver metallic mica powder. You'll find it commercially listed as Pearl X sometimes. Every layer after the first one is used to intensify the base color, so when you see me go over certain areas multiple times, that's why. I contour her beautiful cheekbones using a taupe pressed pigment on a soft blending brush. I go over the whites of the eyes using white acrylic. Then I paint her lips a dark berry color. With this doll, I wanted to avoid copying any characters off the show, so I took some inspiration off the set design and general vibe instead. That being said, I based myself loosely off Laura Palmer in the third season for some of the doll's features. I intensify her eyeliner using black acrylic paint. using a thumbtack, I put a small catch light on each of the eyes to bring them to life. I highlight the brow bone using a white pencil. I gloss her eyes and lips using glossy varnish. I think I did about 3 coats for maximum shine. I Frankensteined an outfit using some patterns that I had. I took this bodice for the dress and these poofy sleeves for the cape. I hemmed the top of the bodice and put 2 darts in the front to make it fit better. I then paint on the iconic chevron pattern. In my defense, I did try to find some fabric with this pattern already printed on, but I just couldn't find it. So I hope you'll forgive my sloppy lines and take some comfort in knowing that geometry was never my career of choice. To fill in the negatives, I thought I'd perform an act of masochism and use glitter. For the skirt part of the dress, I overlaid the striped sheer fabric onto a white cotton rectangle. I sewed the top and bottom right sides together. Then I close up the skirt and the back right sides together again. For the cape, I cut up 2 sleeve pieces out of the satin fabric. And I used this tank top pattern, cutting just below the bust line. For the bottom of the cape, I cut a rectangle double the length of her waist plus seam allowance. This was about 24 centimeters for me. You'll see me use tissue while sewing with this fabric. This is because stretchy fabric needs a lot of support, or else my sewing machine would just eat it up. I do the same for both sides of the top sleeve. Then I attach the poofy and straight part of the sleeves together. And sew it along the shoulder seam of the top. For her ring, I bent some wire into a small circle. Then I paint over a rhinestone with a green Sharpie. I glue it on the ring and coat it in epoxy. I paint her nails the same shade of red I used for the lipstick. I glue on some strip lashes using super glue. As I mentioned in the beginning, the hair comes pre-curled, so a little brush and trim was all it needed to look perfect. And that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at DoeDeerWonderland. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.